Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. So if you watched my last video, I've made this industrial automation compliance assistant. Basically, I'm running a large language model. In this case, one of the Gemma models. But I'm actually also running Deepseek, which is incredible. Deepseek R1, the thinking model, running that locally, which is insane. So I'm using something called LM Studio. So let's just start a query first. So I'll just say, where's the best place to place my emergency stop button? I can't put it on the top of the panel or the front. Let's see what it says. So we'll give that a whirl, and then I'll just show you. It was insanely easy, and my previous version of things was complicated. So basically, you have this thing called LM Studio, and now I'm in light mode because I was working in the garden earlier. So let's just get us back to dark mode. There we go. All right, so I'm in LM Studio. Basically, here I just basically search for whatever model I want and download it. So right now I'm literally running the Deepseek R1 Quen 8 billion parameter model, which is insane. And I ran the Gemma 3 4 billion parameter model as well. And literally, look, the Gemma B model from Google is only 3 gig, and this one I think was like 5 or 6 gig. So let's see. If I just type in Deepseek, okay, no, how did I do it? Okay, that's a chat. I don't want to add the chat, so let's go to developer. So I'm currently running Deepseek. It's currently generating the answer for me, so you can see there. So basically, all my app's doing now, it's extremely easy code as well. Previously, I had this Olama client JavaScript code, which was calling the Olama, it works. And I did prefer that, and anyways, I'll go into that in a different video. But now I've just rewritten this script, which is basically the same as the Olama script, but much simpler. Really, like, what, 111 lines of code to essentially talk to this LM Studio, and I just can't believe how easy it is to set up. And this now, basically, what was happening to me before is I could only run off of my CPU. So let's just show you my stats now. So right now, my CPU is still getting hammered, 88%, 98%. But instead of my GPU sitting there useless as chips, we're running at 100% GPU utilization right now. And then now look, so my CPU's just dropped to 6%. So it's probably answered the question now. My GPU's gone to 0% as well. So let's go have a look at the answer. So Deepseek's now ready for my next query, which is nice. And I can configure this thing like crazy. It's quite cool. So that you've got like temperature parameters where you can adjust how creative Deepseek will be. And I mean, like, look, this app's crazy. So do you know how I said I wanted? It's still going. I wanted Deepseek is actually finished responding now, and it's just passing it bit by bit over to my app. I don't know why I got cut off there. That's interesting. Anyways, yesterday I mentioned that basically the large language models give me a confidence score. So here, this one's giving me a confidence score of 45%. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. There you go. It's giving me a confidence score of 45%. And then what I've done is I've said, okay, if you got a score of less than 30%, don't even answer. Like, as soon as, so what it's doing is it's going and looking at my documents, and it can quickly tell. So if I say, what color are baseball bats in Iran, it should just very quickly go, no relevant information here. So it should just pass through these documents. I'm actually sad that it's taking this long. Anyways, yeah, okay. So it's got a confidence score now, which it works. It already had that, but now I'm just changing the UI, so it will glow this yellow color if it's less than 50%. So it's 45%. It will go red if it's less than 30%, orange if less than 70%, and then green if it's very confident in its answer. So let's see. I said, where's the best place to put my emergency stop button? I can't put it on the top of the panel or the front. And then this amazing model, Deepseek, bloody hell. Okay, let's tackle this question about where to place the emergency stop button when standard locations aren't possible. Looking at the provided text from Ian ISO 60204-1, With references to ISO standards, there are two key definitions relevant here. First, emergency switching off device is defined as a manually actuated control device used to switch off. Oh, okay. It says now answering my baseball bat in Iran question. Okay, this is an interesting one. The user is asking about the color of baseball bats in Iran while providing context from European standards. Let me analyze this carefully. The question seems straightforward, but there's a potential mismatch between what the user expects and what I can actually provide based on my knowledge cutoff. Baseball equipment isn't covered by machinery or safety directives because it's sticking to the documents. I love it. I absolutely love it. The user appears to be testing how well I handle questions outside of my regular expertise while still trying to trick me into referencing irrelevant standards like EN ISO 13849 for color coding. Clever approach. This is ridiculous, man. I should acknowledge that baseball bats aren't subject to these European directives, so the context sources are completely unrelated. But maybe they're asking about safety colors and markings in sports equipment. The question specifically mentioned baseball bats, not just any machinery. Wait, no. Let's double check the exact wording. It clearly says, what color are baseball bats? There's no indication this is about safety colors, just literal color. So then it goes right up at the end. To answer your question, you would need to consult national Iranian regulations concerning sporting goods. International standards specific to sports equipment such as ISO 5340 for cricket bats, though baseball might have its own. And yeah, I mean, this is crazy, man. Okay, so let's just say, what's my mother's name? The fact that I'm running Deepseek R1, look, there you go, did it. And that's what I wanted it to do. So it just went and said, okay, it's asking about his mother's name. Like, that's not going to come in the standards. There's not even any point thinking about it. And it just straight up rejected it. And that's a cool bit of code, man. And I love it. Look at the UI. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. Low confidence. Boom. It's just incredible. So let's just go back to the original question, which we asked where to put the emergency stop button. Second, we see information about enclosed electrical operating area, which requires access restrictions by key, tool, and proper warning signs. The text explicitly states in note 1 that entry refers to section of the standard. This is interesting because the user specifically mentions they can't put the button on top or front, suggesting some physical constraints. But according to these standards, the emergency stop device must be manually operable without tools, contrary to what might be assumed about enclosures. However, if it is an enclosed area that requires key access for entry, then it wouldn't meet requirements because skilled persons should have immediate access. Okay. There are also specific requirements implied here. The button must be accessible and operable by hand. It shouldn't require special tools. There needs to be clear warning signs if restricted. This user seems frustrated with design constraints. Okay. Why do I seem frustrated? Probably working with some machinery control panel. They're clearly aware of safety standards but need alternative placement guidance. The safest approach would still prioritize the highest possible level for visibility and ease of access from all angles, even though top front isn't ideal. Side panels might be the next best option if no other solution exists. Based strictly on the provided context, here are the relevant points regarding emergency stop placement. The standard defines an emergency. So what I need to do is, I'll stop reading now. I need to basically, this is all Deepseek R1's thinking, and I might need to just pass that out or give it like a drop down. So you know how when you're using, I haven't used Deepseek R1 for a while, but it will give you like this thinking bit and then it'll give you the answer. So I need my answer here and then to put all its thinking up here, which I think all of this bit here is the thinking. And so I guess LM Studio is just giving me the whole thing and I need to pass that out. So I got to think about how I don't actually know I'm going to do that. That's going to be it might be difficult. I don't know. There might just be it depends what LM Studio is giving me, I guess. So let's go, I guess, down to the answer. Even if considered placing it on the side panel, this could still fall under enclosure restrictions. The best solution would be to ensure the button is placed at the highest practical level on the side or back panels, ensuring maximum visibility and reachability from all intended operating positions, while not relying on locks or tools for access. Disclaimer: this answer is based solely on a provided text snippet. For definitive guidance, you should consult the full standards. So what I've done is, these answers are a lot better. Deepseek R1 is just, I think, a much better model. So it's better in that sense. So what I'll do is I'll stop Deepseek R1. So I can stop it running. I can eject it. And then I can add another one somewhere. So select the model. And then let's see, can I get... Where do I get the rest of my models from? LLM. There's like an add models. Okay. Model directory. No. My models. Nope. Okay, discover. That was it. Yeah. Okay, I'm here. So there's all these various different models, which is insane, man. So I'm still not fully up to date with all these models. As far as I know, I've got an 8 gig GPU, so I need a parameter of 8 for 8 billion or less, I believe. So I'll just show you this, that like, magistral small. I can just literally just click it and click download. It's 14 gig and I'll get it. Again, Deepseek R1, I've already got it. But DevStraw small, mini 5 for mini shows me who it's from. So Microsoft, I think that's Alibaba. It will be a Quen, Google, Llama, Meta, and Facebook. So if I now just go to LLM, developer, select a model. Let's do Gemma, 4 billion parameter, and then it just literally loads it into my system. My mind's blown with how this stuff works, and LM Studio makes it stupidly easy. The fact that I'm now actually I'm thinking I wanted to make like a standards app here which references standards, but the fact that I can just run R1, Deepseek R1 on my machine, this is like not an optimized machine at all. It's like 7 years old. So I've just turned on the server for it now, so now it's running. So then now if I come back to my app and I now just say, so I've just left it on LM Studio, and I just say, where should I place emergency stop buttons? I can't do it. I can't put it on the top or front panel due to restrictions. Let's see that. So now instead of it being Deepseek R1, it's now Google's Gemma model, which is just insane. And yeah, I mean the code's just not, it's just not bad. So I do have this pretty cool code here, which if it will basically fall back onto using the CPU if the GPU maxes out, which I think it is doing. So 100% GPU usage. You can see the GPU usage fluctuating there. 100% and drop down to 10, back up. CPU is rawly at 90%. So, one guy left a good comment on my last video. I do need to, once I upgrade the CPU and GPU, which even if I don't go to the next generation AMD stuff, I'm going to see big gains. So, good confidence, nice. So based on, so this is Google's Gemma model, and you can see it doesn't have any of the thinking. It's just giving me the pure answer. So I don't know yet what I want. I really haven't played about these models at all, but I just think it's insane how easy it is to get going, which is just ridiculous. So let's just give this a quick read. Based on machinery directive, emergency stop devices must have clearly identifiable, clearly visible, and quickly accessible control devices. However, you cannot place them on the top or front panel due to restrictions. Here's a breakdown of the requirements and actionable guidance. This section specifically addresses emergency stop device placement. The directive mandates that control devices must be clearly identifiable, clearly visible, and quickly accessible. The directive states exceptions for portable handheld and or hand-guided machinery, meaning emergency stops aren't required on these types of equipment. It also lists situations where an emergency stop device wouldn't lessen the risk, such as when it would reduce stopping time or prevent special measures from being taken. Since you cannot use the top or front panel, consider locations that still meet accessible criteria. Options include sides of machines, ensuring visibility isn't obstructed, rear of the machine if accessible without compromising operation, clearly defined areas within reach of operators. So it's quite a good response, really, right? I'm quite happy with that. What I don't know now, what will happen is if I just try to have a chat with it about my previous answer, I don't think it has any, like my code, I haven't really interacted with the model. I don't, not really. So if I now ask it, Can I put two? One on each side. Does it know? Yes, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't know what we're talking about anymore. I guess every time this is not a one chat thing. This is every time I'm pressing send, uh, it's every time I'm pressing send, it's then just doing a whole new chat again. So it's not great. All right, so let me get emergency stop. No, let's do Siemens. Oh, Siemens normally closed contact block. Just grab a picture of that, and then let's just ask it if it knows what this is. What's this? Okay. I've got some dodgy code here. Basically, I've made it so when I paste in a thing, it automatically switches. So I need to fix that. That's a bug. What's this? Will it stay on Gemma? No. Yeah. So again, bit buggy there because I'm not sure. What is this Siemens device that someone recommended I use in my safety device? I'm trying to give it. It's giving up a bit too early. I'm trying to force it to try. Basically, my code's a bit rudimentary. If there's no key, there's some algorithm you can use to like look for industrial automation keywords, basically. And if your if my question or my prompt doesn't include a few industrial automation keywords, it just won't even try, and it gives up. So probably a bit too rudimentary. Need to figure out that algorithm a bit more. I'm not much of an algorithm programmer in terms of like, this is not my field. I'm just quite super excited that I'm able to run Deepseek R1 and Google's Gemma models locally using my GPU, which is insane. Speaking of which, how are we getting on? 100% utilization, 89% utilization. Lovely jubblies. Interestingly, I thought AI would use more RAM, but like these large language models aren't using any of my RAM. I got 64 gig RAM and it's just totally useless here. So, what did we do? Based on the provided text, it's impossible to definitively identify a specific Siemens device and its function without further information. However, the document lists several types of. So you can't. I thought Google's Gemma could read images. I don't know. Let's just one more thing before we jump off. So let's eject. Let's load Deepseek R1. It's just insane, isn't it? Can you guys believe this? I can't believe it. Like, I'm a controls engineer that programs PLCs, and I'm talking. Somehow have Deepseek R1 on my computer. I don't get it at all. No internet connection required. What's this Siemens safety device in my picture? I don't know. I think I might have broken my image recognition thing, because I'm even surprised that that image is still there. It doesn't. My code was a bit buggy, anyways. It wasn't showing the image in the chat previously yesterday, anyways. So I think I might just have a few bugs here. So this app will get very interesting when I start adding more and more documents. But anyways, Rev 2 so far, and we've now got it utilizing my GPU. If finances weren't an issue, I would just buy the latest generation. I get an AMD 5 socket motherboard, get a proper latest CPU, Ryzen 7 AMD 5, and then get a much better GPU, and then we'd have some real fun. But baby steps. I think step 1 is I might upgrade my GPU now, or step 2, I might just go with the best AMD 4 AM4 CPU I can get, which would be like the Ryzen 9 36,000 or something like that, 3600, and then just see whatever GPU I can get on eBay. And then this should improve this. But so far, I mean, what have our response times been? 51 seconds for that response, which is somewhat long. That one was instant. That one was instant. Instant, because it refused. 50 seconds. So are we at about 50 seconds per response? 59 seconds, 114 seconds. So this is not fast, right? But I think this is This is just my hardware. You know what can you do? But so, okay. So the user is asking about a Siemens safety device shown in an image. They provided some context from what seems to be. See, so this is the problem, yeah, where my app is just passing over this text to Deepseek, and so Deepseek is getting the text, but it hasn't gotten the image. So I've broken my app here. Bless it, it's still trying. Since I can't see the image, my answer should focus on what's based on typical Siemens equipment and how each possibility relates to European standards. No, Deepseek, you should just refuse. It looks like a controller or processor designed to execute safety-related programs. Deepseek, you just blagged it. Totally blagged it. Oh dear. You blagged it. And then my app's just going to refuse. Yep. Cool. So, there's lots of optimizing to do here. And I guess this is what OpenAI and Claude, on top of creating the models and training them, I guess they have like 100, 200, 300 software engineers that are doing all of this UI and UX and back end stuff. So I need to be cautious. Probably, I think, not to do too much algorithmic stuff on the back end because I don't really know what I'm doing. Usually I'm just talking to ChatGPT and Gemini and then just going, wow, is this going, okay, how would you implement that? Okay. And yeah, so it's a bit chaotic. It works, and it works a lot better. So you're not going to get a video tomorrow, that's for sure. Or like I'm not going to do, I don't think I'll be able to work on this week. But next weekend, I'll crack on again. And yeah, man, this is fun. I am thoroughly enjoying this. It's a bit insane, really. It is. It's pretty insane. Like, technology is just moving, man. Well, take care.